Alrighty, traders. Excuse me. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Daily Roundup. So, equities bounce pretty aggressively, actually. I thought they were going to bounce, and I made just a little bit on the bounce, and then it took off. I mean, we took off. I actually played the Dow because the Dow was at all-time highs. So when it was down here, I bought it at 34.25, I think, and I sold it at like 50 something. And I'm just like, picked up the bounce. I did not expect it just to rip to new highs, and then S&P. I mean, I should have expected it. I just knew that the S&P was trading a little heavy, and so was the Nasdaq. So we've seen this bounce and risk. I'm going to warn you though. One of the things that I'm a little concerned with at this moment is that the dollar Mexican peso is just all it's doing is just probing some support. The dollar Canadian has reached our target support level, as most of you know. I actually ended up buying some of the dollar Canadian down here at 90. I sold my euro dollar at 55, somewhere around here, 59. Anyway, sorry about that. Got the yawns. I didn't sleep too well last night. Okay, so I'll tell you, how many of you, any of you gotten a vaccine for COVID? Anybody out there gotten a COVID vaccine? Had the opportunity yet? Jason did. So Alan did. Becky did. Jason said, got my first shot Saturday. Gear said, yeah. Okay, so a few of you guys have. I actually, I had the Johnson & Johnson. Gavin said he got his first one. I had the Johnson & Johnson, just one shot, one and done. My arm is fine. Everything's fine. I actually feel okay. But it's funny, like the middle of my back is really sore. But I can't tell if it's from sleeping messed up, because if I didn't have the vaccine, I would just thought, oh, my back is sore because I slept on it weird. But it's 2 nights in a row at the same spot. And I'm like, oh, maybe that's a reaction. I don't know. Other than that, I feel fine. Little groggy, but I'm always tired. That's the problem with 7 months out of the year. I'm always tired. It's a problem with living where I'm at, doing what I do. But other than that, I'm fine. Anyway, my back's a little sore. My back's been sore the last 2 days, right in the middle of my back. Weird. Anyway, it has nothing to do with anything we're talking about. So the reason why I took the euro dollar off is we were stalling at the 50% retracement. It's to me ahead of. Let me fix this chart a little bit. What I think is going to happen here is we're going to see a consolidation ahead of the jobs report tomorrow. So Alan said AstraZeneca here, but did make me tired and achy for 2 days. Yeah, maybe that's it. Just a little achy. Raj says the Pfizer I got a couple weeks back and had terrible back and knee pain. It's gone now. Yeah, it's like it's more uncomfortable than anything. It's not like that's it. Like I said, if I didn't have a vaccine, I would just think, oh, I slept on it weird. When you sleep on you sleep weird and on your neck, and your neck is sore, and you have to turn like this, right? That's kind of how I feel about my back right now. It's just more uncomfortable than anything. Anyway, so I think the euro is going to consolidate ahead of the jobs report tomorrow. So I assume we're going to do this, right? Something like that. When you take the dollar Canadian, and remember, it's not just the U.S. jobs report. It's also the Canadian jobs report, right? So So Canada, I mean, we've slipped down to support. My assumption is as we see the dollar recover a little bit, we're going to see the dollar Canadian bounce back towards like here. So what I'm looking for, over the next 12 hours or so is just a little bit of recovery in the dollar Canadian, maybe back to like 122.30, 122.40. And then, you could take your position off or move your stops to break even, do something like that. I mean, that's what I think is going to happen. So I do think that the move is a little excessive in the dollar Canadian at this point. I mean, think about what we've done since the Bank of Canada rate decision last week. We have dropped from 126 to 122. That's a 400 pip move in a week. Okay. So it has been strong. You have to respect that. That's why I'm actually trading pretty small here, but we're really oversold, divergent relative strength. I don't mind trying to play it for a bounce. And if I'm risking 20 pips to make 40 or 50, that's cool with me. I'm good with that. What I'd like to do is actually move the stops to break even, and just in case we get a dollar recovery tomorrow following the FOMC, like let's say it's a weak Canadian number, but a really, really strong US number, then you got to play the dollar Canadian on the long side. You've got to, right? Because if it's a really, really strong number, and let's just say the Canadian, let's even say the Canadian number is just blah, whatever, it's in line, whatever it is, it's going to spark some risk off, because too strong is like the porridge is too hot. You don't want the porridge too cold. You don't want it too hot. You want the porridge right in the middle. So, if the number is hot, the market's not going to like that, because they're going to start thinking, oh, shoot, here comes the taper talk. Dollar is going to bounce. Stocks are going to come down, all sorts of stuff. So that's what I'm thinking right now. Okay. Jason said that the Canadian strength seems unstoppable at this point. It does. I mean, but let me do one more thing with you guys with the Canadian. Okay. Let me take you to a chart that's not drawn all over. Some really, really important support levels down here, and actually let's take this low. I guess it's probably, yeah, we've broken a little bit, but like, let's say we get back above, let's say we close at our highs of the session, maybe at 2250. That might actually be a false breakdown too. So I'm not super excited about it, but I don't mind owning a little bit below 122. Okay. So, but do you guys understand why I got out of the euro dollar? I coming out of this wedge, hit the 50% retracement. I'm just kind of like, yeah. What else? So the Aussie right up into resistance, pretty key resistance up here. But man, this Aussie strong too. Then again, look at gold. And look at these cryptos. So here's look at gold breaking higher, right? There's your 4-hour chart. We're almost to the 1821 resistance that we talked about this morning, right? Silver breaking higher too. We're getting close to that 2779 or 80 level, which is the 618 retracement. Something to think about. So you got gold. Oh, cryptos. Look at Ethereum screaming higher. Bitcoin's, Dogecoin is consolidating. It's waiting for Saturday. Other than that, dollar Mexican peso is trading heavy today. But I think it's holding up relatively well based on what's happening in the market, right? It's holding up really well based on stocks being near all-time highs or at all-time highs in certain respects. Look at the Russell 2000. Big bounce off of triangle support. Somebody in the chat room asked me about the Russell today, and I said, man, we are at triangle support, and we probed just slightly below it, and then boom. Okay, I think you got to be respectful of it. Okay, that's pretty much it, guys. Just try to be careful between now and the jobs report. If for some reason, and I'm not long this, but man, I am watching it because there are triangles set up, like this is the New Zealand yen from yesterday's chart of the day. That's set up really nice. The cable is still holding up really well, and it looks like it's poised to break out. So these breakouts are going to play probably tomorrow. So the good news is, if a breakout occurs tomorrow, we should get some follow through in some of these triangles that are setting up. Okay. Other than that, I'm going to take it probably pretty easy today. Crude oil is a little weaker right now. Maybe if crude continues to weaken, it'll allow for that dollar Canadian to recover back above 122. We'll see. Things trading so heavy. The dollar Canadian, it's crazy. All right, guys, have a great one. Thank you all for your support. You guys are awesome, and I will catch you in the chat rooms, or I'll see you tomorrow morning. Oh no, I won't see you tomorrow morning on Face. But just remember what I said about jobs reports. Good jobs report doesn't translate necessarily to risk on. Okay. Bad jobs report or mediocre jobs report is risk on. Super bad jobs report or a super good jobs report would mean risk off, in my opinion. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.